Welcome to Reality Tea Times 2, the podcast where I discuss all the trash reality TV we love to hate. I am Tanika, and today we are going to be we're going to be going through the Last Resort tell-alls. We're going to be doing separate episodes for them, though, so we're going to be kind of going through that. So you'll be probably getting that the next few days or so. Yeah, that's what we're going to be planning to do. Maybe 90-day OG we'll get in there as well at some point, but I still got to do notes. So we'll be talking about that. So I am planning to kind of I'm not going to do full, okay, so we're going to go into the announcements first. So I have 3 announcements, so bear with me here. So the first announcement, so when it comes to 90-day OG, I'm I'm still trying to kind of stick to whatever week I'm in, try to do that. Um, but I do want to talk about some major things that has happened in some of the episodes separately. So I'll probably be doing quick recaps of that. Um, Probably just one episode for the last, I think we're going into, I'm trying to think what episode we just did. I think last week's and the week before's. I think that's where I'm at, I believe. So we'll kind of do like a quick little update on some of the things that's happened. So there's things I definitely want to talk about before we head into like the next week type thing. So I'll do that and I'll be in one episode, hopefully sometime this week, which will now lead me into my next announcement. So I have kind of been talking about it already in the 90-Day Diaries episodes, but I am in the middle of fertility treatments. It's going to be pretty consuming. And obviously I have many different facets of my life with work and my other podcast and in this podcast as well. So, and home life and all the other stuff. So, some episodes might take a while to come or whatever. And I'm obviously still trying to keep up with Patreon, which doing pretty good. We're pretty far ahead. So nothing I need to worry about there yet. So there's a lot of different things kind of going on. So I so some episodes will be kind of late in coming. So there's that. Which now leads me into the third announcement, which is Patreon is up and running. It's going strong. Um, so if you're interested in joining Patreon, we have 3 tiers. First tier, $3. Everything is a Canadian. $3 is where you'll get these episodes ad free. Also, AMAs are on that tier as well. Early releases will be on that tier as well, which we will talk about in a future episode down the line. But early releases will be there as well. And then we have the second tier, the fifth tier, God, second tier, $5. Where there you'll get everything on the first tier, third tier. I'm fine. On the first tier, and you'll get like a show from yesteryear on that tier, which currently right now I'm doing Jersey Shore. I'll be announcing probably, well, I'm going to be announcing probably soon, but that is coming next, but it's still months down the line. Um, but we're currently doing Jersey Shore right now. I think currently we're on probably season 3. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But yeah, that's kind of what's there right now. Plus everything that's on the first tier. And then we have the third tier, which is $7. You get everything in the first 2 tiers, as well as a true crime documentary, which I cover one every month, and it's split into 2 episodes. Smack dab in the middle of the month, comes out on Tuesdays. So that's there. We've currently I've done Into the Fire, I've done Ashley Madison, I've done Man 1,000 Kids, and there's so much more to come. I have true crime episodes up until September currently recorded, so that's where we're at with that. So that's Patreon. If you're interested, you go to patreon.com/realitytea times 2. Link is in the show notes. All right. So let's get into, I do have some hot goss, so let's see what we get through here in this episode. We've got a lot, man. I'm telling you, I got some stuff to talk about. I just don't know what's coming when type thing. So this first one is about the Coyote Pass property, which I know the the continuation of the season has happened, and I haven't talked about it yet because it's just the same thing, same shit, different day. Um, so we'll see how the episodes kind of goes. Usually, how I do with Sister Wives, anyways. Um, but yeah, this is about Coyote Pass, y'all. It has finally sold. After years of drama, as we know. People confirmed that Cody, Robin, Mary, and Janelle have officially handed over ownership of the property that has served as a major point of contention between the group on Sister Wives. While the sale of Coyote Pass is still an ongoing issue in the current season, as we know, the Stars officially sold the land for $1.5 million earlier in April, according to, I think it's Coconino. I hope I said that right. County property records. So, yay, we will soon have to hear about it. Moving on to the next. Now, this is juicy, y'all. We've been kind of hearing the rumblings of this for some time, and it is finally here. So, the 90-Day universe is expanding once again with an all-new dating series called 90 Day Hunt for Love. Of course, I'm covering this. Are you kidding? It's a Bachelor in Paradise meets Love Island with 90 Day alums as the stars. So here's what it's basically going to be. So 90 Day Hunt for Love will feature 8 stars, which we'll talk about in a second, from the TLC franchise. In addition to a batch of fresh faces, the fans will have to wait to meet during the Monday 26th premiere. For now, Us Weekly has an exclusive first look at the show and its messy love triangles, sweet connections, and sexy hookups. So, quote, I don't know if there's a word to describe like single, but like more super fucking single. This was said by 90 Day, the Other Way alum Tiffany Franco, who is one of the people who's going to be on the show, says in Us a sneak peek at the official trailer while describing her relationship status. Quote, so maybe a girl just needs a little professional help. Luckily for Tiffany and her fellow 90 Day alums, professionals will be on hand to create mixers, dates, and events in hopes all the stars will find true love in Tulum, Mexico. So the familiar faces include Chantel Everett, Colt T. Johnson, Courtney, Weird Dance, and Tim Malcolm. And y'all, I'm going to talk about it in a second. Jennifer Tarzona, and Usman. And why did they have to do this to us? Rob. So, quote, it sounds like a lot of work. Courtney admits in the teaser, confessing, which finally this woman's on an actual show besides 90 Day Diaries. I am so excited. Quote, I was just planning on getting like white girl wasted like the whole retreat. Courtney's vision for the show might come true based on the images of champagne toasts, steaming makeup sessions, and body shots that are featured in the trailer. There will also be a few love triangles per the video. Quote, I really like him. Like, I want to marry Cole. I think Cole is one of the randos. But I want to fuck Rob. Jennifer admits with a laugh. So her tastes are horrible. So anyways, her love affairs, however, could turn messy as Rob and Cole appear to get into a fight while in Mexico. Well, I guess men's rights are over now. Jesus Christ. Rob teases, all's fair in love and war. Sometimes people get hurt. No shit. Including you when a shoe gets thrown to your head. Too soon? Anyways, in addition to the fights and love battles, the trailer hints that the drama could bubble over into something dangerous. At the end of the trailer, a mystery contestant is taken away in an ambulance as a fear of the girls cry on the sand. That might be Colt. Didn't he get re-injured or something? Anyways, TLC described the fresh series as an exhilarating roller coaster ride, featuring 8 singles from the 90 Day universe who are ready to embark on a quest for love once again, joined by fresh new faces and romantic hopefuls. According to the press release, these love-hungry alums have loved, lost, and learned a few lessons along the way, Not all of them. While in Mexico, whether they're healing old wounds, chasing new sparks, or unknowingly walking straight into a love triangle, each of them throws caution to the wind as they jump back into the dating game. So 90 Day Hunt for Love premieres on Monday, May 26th at 8 p.m. Um, a Hunt for Love Between the Sheets is also going to be happening, which is an after show, which is going to be airing following every new episode. So just to recap who we have, and I'll post these pictures straight from 90 Day Fiance Instagram page on our socials. We have Chantel, Colt, Courtney, Jennifer Pfeffer, Rob, Tiffany, Tim, and Usman. So can we please talk about the fact that Tim and Jennifer Pfeffer are going to be in the same house together? Oh, oh, I see a fight in the future between the two of them too. Anyways, that's that. So on to the next piece of hot goss. This was quick. I did talk about it in one of the 90 Day Diaries episodes, about Gary and the fact that he now has a new girlfriend who he has now, um, said who she is. So let's get to it. So according to TMZ, Gary has been dating a retired teacher named Lana who reached out to him on Facebook. Gary told the outlet he ignored Lana's first Facebook message, but when she shared with him in a second message that she grew up in a town about 20 minutes from him in Indiana, he was then intrigued and made plans with her to meet up. They went on their first date at a restaurant in March, so very recent. The news comes 1 year after Gary and Teresa announced their divorce, following 3 months of marriage, as we know. They settled their divorce in June 2024, which I believe I did talk about that as well. Um, Anyways, that is it for Hot Goss. Let's jump into the reason that we are here, and that is to discuss The Last Resort Tell All Part 2. So it's episode 19. All right. So this is where we left off, I believe, talking about Julia talking about her second potential cheating issues here. So Sean asks, so how did it go with the second guy? And she admits to kissing him. Um, they're like, did you smash or sorry, was it a smooch or French kiss? This is what Jasmine asked. Um, and she's like, I want to know. um, And Brandon says like he doesn't want to know. He doesn't want to know. So we're like, okay, let's respect Brandon's wishes here. That he doesn't want to know. Um, but she says like I think he said like they were already engaged at this point. And Sophie says like just because the visa takes long doesn't mean you can talk to other people. Amen. I think Julia doesn't or didn't, I should say, understand what the boundaries were. You don't get to just talk to another person just because the visa takes a long time. Rana and Betty, how do you guys feel about all of this, Sean asks? And interestingly enough, Ron actually says, well, listen, it was a long time ago. She chose him. So, it was a mistake and let's just move on. That's insightful, actually. Julia says that this is the first time they've actually taken my side, which she's definitely, I, I'm actually shocked. I said it surprisingly. I'm shocked. She's like, tell me who is innocent here. No one's innocent here. We've all made mistakes, right? Um, she's like, I wasn't doing anything. And Shauna's like, do you think that you should apologize? Absolutely, she should apologize. She says, yes. She gets up and she goes over to him and she hugs him. But he's still really in the hurt. You can tell, like, I want to say, oh, why can't you just let it go? But he's still in the hurt. He's just found this all out. Her coming over and hugging him is not going to necessarily make the hurt go away. He has to process it because he's like, I'm just hurt. I'm hurt. And she asks, like, are you going to hold on to this for the rest of our lives? Like, there has to come a time where you do have to let this go. You two are married. You've chosen to stay together. So, you know, there has to come a point where you do have to sit in it, process it, and then you have to move on. Betty then um, says or tells him that this was a long time ago. She chose you. Um, he says he just wants some time, which I think is understandable. So we then move on to Rob and Sophie. Oh boy, so take off the guys were proof. Well, I think the worst of it is going to be in a more recent episode, but anyways. So she says that she got her boobs done about a month prior to being here. She says she showed Rob her boobs in the back. Just like, here you go, you can look, but you can't touch type situation. Um he's literally like picturing them in his head in this particular moment. Like you can tell in his face, he's like, God damn. Seriously, it's hilarious. Um, Sean basically asked on the phone, like, did you show him out of revenge? Rob said, "I think so." She says no. I'm actually, and I agree with Rob that I think two things. I think it's actually not as easy as that. I think number one, in her mind, it is kind of a revenge thing, but also I think she is proud of them. I'm sure she is. And she isn't going to just show them off to anybody. But Rob, yeah, she will because he's seen her boobs before. So like, whatever. But I do think it's a mixture of I'm proud of them, but I also want to fuck with him. So they talk about the fact that they had sex. So here is what we find out, which I am not shocked by any of this at all. They had gone to Disneyland. I'm like, oh God, Disneyland. We all knew about Disneyland. And honestly, I said, like, I thought to myself when I found out they had all hung out at Disneyland, I'm like, oh, so they're fucking still, right? Like, that's what's going on here. Um, they were hanging out, things were good. Um, they hadn't had sex at that point, though. Um, she kind of says that, he says he was expecting nothing. And I guess, like, just because they were doing good, they were getting along. Um, she, I guess, kind of maybe made her feel like maybe they could. I don't know. She basically tell him that she felt different. Um, um, then I think I'm getting confused here. Um, no, I think because they were doing good, they decided to have sex. They were having sex for some time, but it wasn't supposed to be like them getting back together, anything like that. Um, so she said they had sex in New York months um later during filming. So y'all, they basically confirm this was while they were filming Between the Sheets. So, and thanks to Jasmine, we have a timeline here. So they filmed Last Resort, I think February, March of 2024. They then filmed Between the Sheets around September, August, I think September of 2024. So that's not in between there, which I think that kind of makes sense. They had gone to Disneyland. Nothing happened then, according to them. They film in New York, Between the Sheets. That's when they had sex. And it lasted for a bit. I think it just recently ended at the time of filming the tell-all, which was in January of this year. And I think they're saying it probably was maybe a couple of months before that they stopped. So this is very recent. Yeesh. um, so yeah, so they had sex a lot for months. But it had ended, like I said, a couple months prior. Because they were having sex a lot and possibly catching feelings again, they pumped the brakes. He says that he took a lot, or sorry, it took about 3 months to date again after the resort. So not Sophie, but other people. Took him about 3 months. He said he met another British woman, and Sophie's like, "Oh, he's just trying to find another me." Maybe. She dated two people. She actually dated a woman and a man. Good. This is, honestly, this is what I want for her. I want her to date around. I want her to explore her sexuality. That's what I want to say. Sexuality fully and have fun with this. She's young. Go do you. Have fun. Here's the thing though. Rob's like, so explain what happened though with those two. And she didn't want to, but he did. And she gave the okay, but he did. So apparently, this is some shit. This this is actually something I want to see in 90 Day Diaries. This would be amazing. She started dating, I think, the guy first, and the guy had a kid. Okay. Then she dated the girl after, and she too had a kid. Okay. Turns out though that the guy she dated was actually the baby daddy of the girl she dated. This is some shit. This is incredible. And she said she didn't know though. She didn't know that at first. Um, but this is what happened. This is amazing. She thinks it would be best for them to stop talking, but she said like it's tough. Obviously, they're still legally married. Um, she says that she also turns to him when she's upset. And honestly, yeah, it can be really difficult to cut the ties of this is the person, because I've been through it. I've been through this. We've all kind of probably, as long as you're ending somewhat amicably, this is kind of what we can all go through. I would talk to my ex-husband every day because, like, that's what I was used to. I was with this man for, close to 5 years. You spoke to each other every day. It's really hard to separate that. And honestly, I think it was the divorce being official that kind of helped push communication to be a little less. I'm not saying I don't talk to him, but um also my ex-husband did not treat me the way Rob treated Sophie, but it's just less, you know? So she says, he's the one that she hurts too. And Sean asked, like, do you think you saying that you think you should do the divorce? He says it probably is something that they should do. And Natalie all of a sudden just comes in here no weirdly and just inserts herself because it has to be about Natalie. Natalie's like, I'm, you know, I'm sorry because he seems like a good person. The fuck? And I don't know where Natalie's getting that because I think if anyone watches anything or hears anything on social media, we know Rob is not a good guy. He's a shit person. We saw how he treated Jasmine in this moment. I know people are polarized on that, but he's a horrible person and he hates women, which I talked about in 90 Day Diaries actually, when Sophie posted on her social media about Rob. He hates women. So how can you actually say he's a good person? It's incredible. Anyways, then we see a clip of Jasmine saying Sophie has a sugar daddy, which is said during Between the Sheets. Someone told her. She didn't say who it was, but we're about to find out maybe where she got that information from. Sophie ends up saying, well, like in the tell-all, I do have a sugar daddy. He's a 93-year-old man. Um, he will be 94 actually. No, I'm kidding. I don't have a sugar daddy. I was like, damn, Anna Nicole Smith. Shit. But no, she says, I do not have a sugar daddy. I don't know where this kind of came from. Natalie does ask Jasmine, like, who told you? Like, who told you that? Rob comes in and he's like, no, I'll tell you who told her. He's like, I was comforting Jasmine with everything that she was going through with Gino. She was started asking me about where does Sophie get her money? How does Sophie survive? Blah, blah, blah. He's like, I don't know. And she says, like, do you think she has a sugar daddy? He says, I don't know. That's where the whole thing came from. Jasmine starts kind of, I'm gonna have to give Jasmine a hit here. Jasmine kind of starts like joking, oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry I ended your marriage. Now, Jasmine, you didn't. All of their issues happened long before this because, again, This had nothing to do with it. Sophie's the one who ended it, not Rob, because it would make more sense if Rob ended it. Rob wasn't going to end it. Rob was going to stay, as we know. But Jasmine, girl, stay out of people's business. Because here's the thing. This is what I have to give a hit here, Jasmine. Whenever Jasmine is given information, she runs with it and tells people shit. You're causing drama. And I don't know why it's unbecoming, honestly, for a 37, 38-year-old woman. Grow up. Um, and honestly, if what Rob is saying is true, you are lying. You lied. That's not cool. That's bullshit. So then we take a break because I think we need it. So Julia comes out in the sex mask. She's going to be calling herself, I think she's calling herself sex woman, I think. Anyways, um, she's going to rid the city, okay, of bad sex. Oh, okay. Anyways, Jasmine ends up calling Matt because I think she's kind of separate from everybody else. And she tells him, the guys are attacking me, which is true. They are. They call the baby a bastard motherfucker. True. Rob did do that. Matt is like, do you agree to the open marriage? Amen, sister. Amen. He did. And he's like, he is now trying to get the men on his side. Yeah. Um, I mean, I don't think Rob needs an excuse. I think Rob is always going to be like, I'm going to be men's savior. But he's not wrong. Hi, everyone. And I have another song to play for you today. This song is by Culture Noise Music. And this song is called Falling Down. I did get this song from the PodSafe Music Directory on the World Podcast Network. So I'm going to play that song for you now. If you like it and you want to listen to it, you want to download it, I will have a link in the show notes to where you can do all of that, including the link to the PodSafe Music Directory, again, on the World Podcast Network. So without further ado, I am going to play that song for you now.
Were we walking on a tightrope that was too far off the ground? 'Cause now my legs are shaking. Oh, now I feel it breaking, and we're falling down. And we're falling while we dive into the deep end, and nothing to stay afloat. 'Cause now I feel it sinking. Don't know what we were thinking, and there's no way out. And there's no way out. There's no way out. There's no way out. And we're falling down.
We go back on set and we move on to Florian and Stacey because we need a reprieve. Stacey says that after the resort, things were good, but the last 3 to 4 months have been very rocky. He says that the therapy didn't do anything for him. He only did the therapy for her. So she's like, so it's my fault then. Because he's kind of like, it's my fault that the marriage has kind of gone to shit. He's like, well, she's like, I should only be the one to put the effort in because only I took something from the therapy. Like, you didn't take anything from the therapy. And he's like, it's not a bad idea. I can't with him in like in a good way. He's so ridiculous. Anyways, they fight about everything, she says. She feels like he doesn't want to be around her, which is really sad. Like the one thing you want is for your partner to be around you. Like that would be heartbreaking. Um, they haven't had sex in 4 months. So Florian, just fuck your wife. What's going on here? I'm just saying. Um, he doesn't initiate. She admits she doesn't either, which I can understand though. Like if you're not having like passion and love outside of that, how could you initiate? You know? So, um, she's like, it's kind of hard to talk about. And she starts crying and it's really sad. This broke my heart. She says, I'm going through menopause. It's hard to talk about. Your body's going through changes and being with a younger man as well, who doesn't maybe fully understand menopause. We'll talk about that in a second. Um, and knowing that like he's gonna not be going through changes. And that can happen with men at any age, honestly. I'm not saying so much about his age, but I'm talking more from the standpoint of she is older with a younger man. Your body's going through changes. That's difficult. She says she's going through changes. She can't explain them. And he just doesn't understand. And that's the thing. It's like, I obviously haven't gone through menopause. I have witnessed my mom go through it though. And there's so much involved with that. Things that you don't hear a lot of people talk about that my mom has definitely struggled with throughout the years of being like, I don't understand. Is this because of menopause? Is this something else? Like, why am I going through this? Blah, blah. It's a lot. And she's going through that without having to worry about a partner. So it's a lot. And he says as much he doesn't understand menopause, he doesn't really know what it is. Um, and then we kind of have this little like session of, okay, other men, do you know what menopause is? Rob definitely tries to assist here, and he does the best that he can as a man to explain this. And he's kind of like, listen, I am no expert on menopause and what women go through. I am no expert. Thank you. I'm happy you started there. But he kind of says that like what he thinks menopause is. And he's not fully incorrect. He's right about certain things. Stacey says, I do not want to embarrass him. I truly think he just doesn't understand what it is. Like she doesn't think that he's trying to be spiteful and not understanding menopause. She's just like, I just think he really just doesn't understand it. And she's trying to give him like grace here. She's like, I'm still learning, for God's sake, what menopause is, and I'm going through it. Um, then we see the fight between Florian and Jasmine, kind of talking about his anger issues here. And then we also see the second fight between them as well. Funnily enough, we don't see the fight between him and Gino, which I think is an interesting choice on the part. Well, I mean, technically that was Gino going off, so maybe technically it wasn't Florian, it was more Gino. But so yeah, he's like, well, just don't poke the bear, and everything will be fine. Yeah, that's not how the world works, though, Florian. This is not. Sometimes the bear is gonna get poked. Um, and you need to learn how to deal with that. Um, he says he has no regrets for coming at Jasmine the way he did. He says it's like, control his drinking, like talk about, don't touch my drink, and that I understand. And also don't waste alcohol. Like that's expensive. Anyway, but you are easily triggered. And he's like, yeah, I am. Like he doesn't care. He sees nothing wrong. He's like, I am easily triggered. And what? He's like, just leave me alone. Let me do my thing. Ari says, you have anger issues. Do you think that's normal? You're gonna age faster. Have a heart attack at 40. Ma'am, okay, the heart attack, I'm with you. Aging early, I don't think he gives a fuck. And not to mention, he doesn't particularly he looks like a vampire from 100 years ago. A shit. And so I don't think he cares. And he says as much. He says he doesn't give a fuck. If he were to die today, he's okay with it. He doesn't care. Stacey says, your behavior is a liability to me. She's responsible for him, which I totally get. Um, and she throws in, all you do is hang out with the girls. So, like, why are you getting like triggered or whatever? You're not going to fight girls who are flirting with you. Well, Natalie says, I think people know how to trigger him. God damn it. Yes. Do I think people know how to trigger him? I agree with her on that, yes. But that doesn't mean you get to have a pass because of that. You are responsible for you. She said Jasmine knows what she was doing that night. And Jasmine says, but how you react is your problem. Says the woman who threw a shoe at Rob a few minutes ago. And Gina says, listen, I love you, bro, but you got an issue. So he says he's very quick to react. He is. We've seen it. We've seen many times. We've seen Florian from God, first season of Darcy and Tom. We've seen Florian. Now Florian was on his best behavior then, but we've seen him for many, many years, and he is very quick to react. And we see it here too in a minute. Joss ends up coming in here, with some reason interesting. He says, you need to be more soft with her. No one else. Doesn't matter. Anyone else doesn't matter. But with her, you need to be, softer with her. And I didn't really write the notes here because it was all over the place, but he kind of mentioned something about like, she feels like she has to mother you and blah, blah, blah. And this man gets so triggered by hearing the word mother about his wife that he's like, the fuck? What the fuck you talking about? The fuck? Like he just goes off. And it's like, no, 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 no. We're not saying she's your mother and that you're fucking your mom. We're not saying that, sir. We're just saying that she feels as your wife, that she feels like she has to maybe mother you, take on that role. Because again, we know as women, when you're in a relationship with men well, I don't know. I can only speak from my perspective. But when you're in a relationship with men, it's kind of like you have to take on this role of, I'm not only your wife, girlfriend, whatever, I'm also your mother. I'm also your caretaker. I'm also your whatever. Like you take on those roles. Um, Not always wanting to, but you take on those roles. We know this. We knew what Josh meant. For whatever reason, Florian has heard that. He's like, the fuck? He's like, okay, calm down, Florian. Then here comes our queen, Darcy, and Georgie's here too. Hey, Stace. Hey, Darce. You're looking good. Snatched. It's so good. She says that she tends to call Florian to vent about Georgie because Georgie, he's hiding money in socks. He has his rose oil. He's just doing the most. Okay. Stacey explains, after she had her surgery, she just wanted him to be around to help her, to focus on her. So Darcy, kind of adding insult to injury, I guess, with calling Florian to vent about Georgie, was just more than she could handle. And I get that. Darcy, it says that you um, have said, like, why am I still married to Georgie? I can play that game too type situation. Like you say, I said that to Florian, but you've also said some shit. But here's the difference though. You didn't say that Stacey said it to Georgie. You're saying that Stacey said it to you, which, yeah, you apparently said it to Florian. You didn't say it to Stacey. So that's the difference here. Um, Georgie says, like, I don't think they are too close. Like, he doesn't see anything. There's nothing going on here that we need to worry about. I think Georgie's saying the right thing here. They're not that close. They're fine. But then Sean comes in with, do you think Stacey should trust Florian? And Georgie, without context, here anyways, says, maybe, maybe not. Maybe not 100%. And you're like, excuse me? And that's where we end episode or part 2 of the tell all. Oh boy, guys. Oh god. We're going into the next episode. I think when that's coming out, yeah, I think we're gonna aim to get it out later today. So that's the next episode coming is I'm gonna say part 3 of the tell all. Look at all those answers. So that is it for me for this episode. So if you like what you heard, please rate, review the podcast on either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Also, don't forget that you can also share us with everyone in your life if you really love this. And I do want to read those reviews. I'm definitely getting 5-star ratings, but I want to read those reviews. So send me those reviews and I will read those 4 and 5-star reviews on the podcast. Also, we're on every one of your favorite podcast apps. Every one of them, including you can find us on YouTube at Reality Tea Times 2. If you want to connect with us, you can do so by going to either Facebook or Instagram at Reality Tea Times 2. You can also find us on Twitter, TikTok, Reddit at Reality Tea Times 2 Pod. We also have our email, which is at realityteatimes2 at hotmail.com. Definitely want to hear from you guys. And we also have our new website where you can listen to all of these episodes. You can review the podcast on there as well. You can connect with me in any way, all the stuff. It's all there, and you can find me there at www.realityteatimes2, all spelled out, .podpage.io. It's there. And don't forget, I also have my other podcast with my friend Mikkel, Next Take Podcast, where we talk about all kinds of different topics. But you can find us on any of your favorite podcast apps over there as well. Or you can also go to YouTube and you go to Next Take Podcast, as well as our website, which is solo.to/Next Take Podcast. So yeah, there's that, and that's basically that. And again, don't forget, if all of this information is overwhelming, we do have all of the links, everything in our show notes. But that is it for now, guys. Thanks. Bye.